So we're going to bring up our presenter for today, Miss Monica Mattia with Digital Universe.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. I really am very excited to be here this morning to present my business to you. I find this to be a phenomenal opportunity to learn from a lot of different folks that have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. So I'm really hoping to take a lot away today. So Digital Universe, let's jump right in. So what does Digital Universe do? We are your typical marketing company. We offer all of your normal marketing services, but really what differentiates me from, I think, some of the other marketing companies is the indoor digital billboard space. And so what an indoor digital billboard is basically a TV that gets placed inside of a business. I've done it for a lot of different businesses. So what it allows me to do is create a network where businesses of all sizes really can be seen, known, and remembered throughout the community and showcase their brand to a lot of different audiences. So what I'm asking for today is I don't have any local data yet, right? So a lot of people want to see the value based on numbers. They want to see facts. What can you prove to me that this can do for my business? I don't have that yet because my business is new and is still growing. So my question is, what would you need to see or hear in order to believe that this product works and it's worth investing in? Okay, so think about that as I go through my business. Before we get too deep into the business, let me just give you a little bit about myself, a little bit of background. After graduating college, I decided to join the Air Force, and I was given the task of being a ICBM officer, also known as a nuclear weapon operator. After 10 years of service, I decided to exit and go into the private sector, where I worked for two major corporations. The first one being Walmart, where I had the opportunity to, after 10 years of working for them, I had the opportunity to come to Davenport, Florida, to open up one of the very first e-commerce fulfillment centers for Walmart when they were starting to get into the e-commerce space. So I led a 1.2 million square foot facility and 450 employees for 5 years for Walmart. After getting burnt out from that job, I decided to transition over to Pepsi, where I had the opportunity to be the director of supply chain operations for the Southeast region. That was the most recent job that I had before I decided to open up my business. I am a single mom of two awesome, amazing human beings. My oldest son there in the hat, his name is Dominic. He's 22, and he's actually starting nursing school next week at Lake Sumter State College, so he's really excited about that. He's actually at orientation this morning, which is why he couldn't be here. And then my youngest, who is here today, the redhead right here, does not run in the family. He is 17. He started his senior year this year, and he and I and a lot of other people already in the room are working with him to start his own photography business after he graduates high school. So my passion for why I wanted to start my own business, I really want to help small business owners. I think too many times we hear stories about it's really hard to start a business. People work really, really hard to make it work, and it just doesn't, right? People end up having to shut their doors or do something else, and they invested all of this energy. So my goal is, how can I help, right? Any little bit of way that I can help people keep their business brings me a lot of joy. And then an extension of that is, as I get to know the community, how can I impact the community? And like I said earlier, the biggest thing for me has been with these networking events is getting to know people and understanding their stories and just seeing how much of a need for greater impact we have in the community. And I want to be able to insert myself in that and help change some stories. All right, about the business. So indoor digital billboards, why are they a good idea? Well, they really, with a network that I'm able to create, they provide an extensive local reach to small businesses. I try to focus on a 3 to 5 mile radius area to start putting up the billboards so that it gives businesses the opportunity to have that hyper local reach to their customers. You can't skip them, you can't pause them, you can't turn them off, you can't turn them or throw them away like you do some other forms of advertising. They really are quick to update. If there is any kind of messaging that needs to be updated, we can do that within a matter of hours, re-upload the data onto the software, and then the TVs will be playing the new information right away. They're a great cross-channel complement. So I always tell business owners, I'm not asking you to stop doing what you're doing already from a marketing perspective. I want you to think about how can you incorporate indoor digital billboards into your marketing campaigns? Because marketing is an all-encompassing thing, right? There isn't one thing that works. It's a lot of different things that work. So this is a great complement to what you're already doing. And then obviously there's a lot of high brand recall among consumers when they're seeing your brand throughout different areas that they're already interacting with. They're already eating there, they're already shopping, they're already playing in these establishments, but they're seeing your brand in various different locations. So in order to build this network, I need host venue partners, right? I need businesses to partner with me to be able to allow me to host a screen in one of their locations. Some of the benefits they get, this doesn't cost them anything. I incur all of the costs up front. I purchase the TV, I pay for the installation. All I need from these venues is electricity and Wi-Fi. That's all I need them to provide. They also get some free marketing perks, both inside and outside of their location, in the form of advertising. So my team creates 8 different ads for the venue partners that play both inside and outside of their location to incentivize them. There is some criteria that I'm looking for specifically for the locations. Obviously, we need to have locations that have high foot traffic. I'm looking for about 500 plus customers a month to be able to make it worth the while for the rest of the businesses. And then also some dwell time. So 10 plus minutes of dwell time where people have to wait or they're sitting there because they're working out, they're eating, spending some time in that establishment. Just to give you some background on what I'm looking for. Here's some of the businesses that have already partnered with me. This isn't all of them, but as you can see, it's a big variety of restaurants, nail salons. We have Racetrack Wheels, who does oil changes, tire changes, barber shops. So I look for about 50% restaurants or food industry, and then the other 50% to be what we call neutral locations. So that way they're cross networking with each other from an advertising perspective. You can't have all restaurants advertising all restaurants, right? So we try to mix it up to give people that availability to be able to advertise without having to compete. So this service works, okay? Nationally, we have proven that this works. We have 5,000 screens across the country already installed, 5,000 different businesses that have screens that are doing the service. And so with that, with those numbers, we've been able to gather these statistics here. So we understand now that digital billboards are 400% more impactful than your static advertising. We know that the businesses that advertise on digital billboards have been able to increase their average ticket value by 33%. And there is 83% recall among consumers. Again, when they're going in they're visiting a lot of different places, frequenting a lot of different places, and they're seeing your brand, they're going to be more likely to recall that brand than if they're only seeing it once a month or once a week or once a quarter sometimes in some cases. So things I've tried to create value in this, in what I'm offering. I do a lot of networking groups, so I do try to get my business name out there. I do try to explain to people in networking one-on-ones what the business does, what it takes to become a host location, and what the value is. A lot of people tell me this is great, it's a great concept, but then they're hesitant to move forward with it, right? I have walked into establishments to try to get a hold of the owner. This has probably been the biggest challenge for me, is just trying to get a hold of the decision maker, and even having enough time to explain to them, to give them enough information for them to make an educated decision. I've emailed specific businesses, obviously very zero return on that. Nobody emails back. Requested referrals from my current clients. That has worked. I have gotten a couple of new locations based on current referrals from clients that I already have. And then asking friends and people I know for direct introductions to business owners. Okay, so that's really it. Back to the question. I don't know if that was the time, but so I don't. Oh, did it turn on?
No, you're good.
Okay, sorry. Again, I don't have any local data yet. I'm building it, right? So as I continue to grow the business, I can have that opportunity to gather the data. But without that right now, what would you need to see or hear in order to convince you?
Yeah.
Monica, everyone.
Thank you, Monica. We would never turn your microphone off.
Oh, I was like, wait, it just sounded like it went away for a second.
So who wants to kick us off with feedback for Monica and her challenge?
So let's put it into words. My words, in fact. Sorry. You are looking for other avenues to get more business. Is that?
I mean, essentially, yes. So how can I convince locations to take me up on the hosting perspective? Because that's, without the host locations, I don't even have a network to be able to start offering the advertising space. And so I want to be able to grow the network a lot faster than I've been able to do it in the last few months. So how can I get a hold of people? How can I present it in a way that creates value?
Jamie.
Hi, Jim Hernandez from Vistage. What I saw was that you do have some data already in terms of types of results. So do you have a dashboard or specific data you can show for different types of industries or businesses from the national numbers that you could sit down with a business and quickly give them, hey, if you do this, this is what you should expect with our ads?
Yes, the same way we gather this national data, I believe there's a breakdown of industries that I can pull from. So that's a great idea.
Then my recommendation is, in all the noise of spending money, because I've done lots of consulting on internet stuff, which is throwing money into a black hole often, is that being able to measure ROI on any dollar spent in marketing is a huge advantage. It also lets you get quick to the conversation with the business owner. If you can quickly show them that if you spend $1, you're going to get this much back, it'll be a huge win for you to get the conversation started.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so I don't have any business background. I'm kind of something just popped in my head. To piggyback off of what he was saying, do you have some sort of, what if you did like a QR code that people could scan? Like if I'm getting my nails done at the one nail salon and I see the Puerto Rican restaurant, what if you scan that to say, hey, I found out about your restaurant through Digital Universe? Some sort of like way to capture the, like he said, ROI. People could, hey, if you like any of these businesses, scan this code, and that way you can show people, hey, somebody was getting their tires done and they went to this restaurant while they were waiting because of Digital Universe.
Gotcha. That's a good idea. Yeah, thank you.
So you're advertising yourself while you're advertising other.
Yes, I do advertise myself on the screen already, but I didn't think about the QR code on my ad. So thank you. That's genius.
Quick question, Monica. Ken Rose. What is the incentive for the venue to have your product in there? What's the benefit for them? What are they getting out of it?
The biggest incentive for them is the free marketing. So the opportunity for them to be able to market their own business, not just inside, but also outside of their venue at no cost to them. Yeah.
Hi, great presentation. My name is Daniel LeBron. I used to do marketing for a company called The Movie Studio. So we had a similar product with the billboards. And so when I was speaking to customers, I would always identify on average how much traffic would be in that area for, like, let's say that business. If you put a digital billboard, you identify how much traffic will walk through that business, just like a billboard on the highway. X amount of cars pass by this location every day, and then we would take that number times the location, and then we would multiply it by par value, which is 0.00001, which is kind of like the lowest value you could get, and then you could use those metrics, because 0.0001, it's like I'm really undershooting it, but if this amount of people, if you're visible to this amount of people and you multiply it by 0.0001 or whatever the number is, the metric, then you could explain to them in a way where they could see kind of numbers and metrics on a very conservative scale. So that's how I would sell my digital billboards. So just kind of some feedback and hopefully it helps.
Yeah, no, thank you. We do have a system, which is why I need to wait. You know, when you talk about digital marketing, you know, you can't expect 1 month to give you results, right? You've got to have, I always ask people, give me at least 6 months, right, of data to be able to have some really substance to that. But we do have a system where we do collect we work with the business owners to get as accurate as possible their number of customers each month. And it's sometimes in some businesses is very seasonal. So I've got to constantly go to them and kind of update it every quarter so we can have accurate data. And then we take that information, and then we also have in the background the ability to capture how many times an ad plays based on the number of hours of the business, because every business is open a different number of hours, a different number of days, and you can see there's a mixed bag of businesses that are part of the network. So we kind of use all of that data and create an average. It's just my business is so new that if you take that now, it's not like, oh, you know, mind blowing. So I'm trying to think of different ways right now until I'm in that 6 month, 7 month, 8 month period to be able to gather more data to kind of have more impact. But I like that idea. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sanita. I'm from Fairwinds Credit Unions. The one suggestion I would have is in your email, having more of a visual. I'm not sure if you do just like type, you know, a description of what your business does, but having something that's visual that's capturing to them. So as soon as they see that, they're like drawn into, oh, this is what this is, and listing like the main benefit to that business member of having your product at their business. And then also following up with them, like going to the business, getting like a bun cake, hey, you know, I sent you an email, here's my business card, please give me a call so I can give you some more details, to try to connect with them, just using different avenues to be able to connect with that business member. But the biggest thing with email is not just having words, but more of a visual effect for them that captures their attention like right away.
Yeah, I like that. I have a demo loop actually that I can probably attach little demo loop video to give them an idea of what it would look like. Thank you.
Hey. Really good feedback. One thing I would actually add to the data discussion area, this data from the dashboards. As you're presenting the data, what I would tell you that you need to do is specifically for each type of business you're going to target is to go to people who ever put the data in, who's been successful, and get very specific stories about how the nail salon was affected, how the restaurant was affected. And if you can like get those stories well crafted, that will have a really good result. The data is one thing, people will look at the data, but if you can craft it around a story that they can resonate with, that'll go really far.
Yeah.
A testimonial would be nice, but if they're in New York and she's in Florida, it's kind of like, well, what does he know? But like, if you can craft it such in a way that's a little bit more generic that you can deliver, that'll have a tremendous result with the data in comparison.
And everything else. Yeah, thank you.
I want to, while we're passing the microphones, I want to take a second. I'm going to go back because what really struck me this morning about the diversity of our group is the type of reach that we have with the different types of businesses. So you had some criteria about what type of businesses you want to get into.
The personal slide.
So I want each of you, since we do have such a diverse network of people, maybe think about some other places. This is an add to her ask, some other places, some unique places where you would walk past something and it would grab your attention, where she can get some more of the data and the feedback and reach that different group and that different demographic that she's not. So maybe think of some creative places that have Wi-Fi and power in addition to the restaurants and services that she's in, and maybe come up with some other ideas that would, maybe catch someone else's attention to then help her get more of that data that she needs to then go out and justify. So maybe just a little, I'm adding a little bit to your ask about some creative and unique places throughout Lake County where she might be able to post some billboards.
Yeah. Thank you.
So one thing that I have been seeing often is new services that are using AI and geolocation to track a customer that is watching some type of marketing advertisement like your screen, and then going and walking to the store where that news was on the screen. So that could be something that you can hire, to check the data, and also give that data to the host organization. So you pay for the service, but you feed data to the host organization, providing some added value of the customers that are walking there and are moving to the places where you find advertisement. So that's something new, and it's very powerful.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, my name is Zane. Company Scan a Card and Clubhouse that I'm going to be opening. So I'm actually going to be having like a lobby where I'm going to have a lot of parents waiting. Now, one thing for me is that, and I think probably a lot of the pushback is people are asking, what's the incentive for me? Because they think, well, I'm just putting a TV, that's kind of burdening my customer space. What more can I get out of it? Kind of to piggyback on what she was mentioning. So if you kind of make this more of a hybrid, of kind of like how internet marketing works, in a sense that you could track direct CPAs. So for instance, if somebody comes in there and they scan a QR code, and that QR code is specific to that location, they scan that offer, they convert. If you give rev share back to that location, because you can track that data now, I mean, I think you'd have every business wanting to do this, because they can get something back monetarily that makes more, and they can actually make money from it. Because if you're selling it to other advertisers, to me it's like, well, hey, I'm getting a TV in there for other people's ads, and it doesn't feel to me like I'm getting something out of it. But if you get not only the share of you getting distributed, but also the capital aspect of it, I think they would be more driven to the capital aspect.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, thank you.
Nathan Gar. The inventory is always going to be a problem. The people that created the Circle K network, where they have a TV on every gas station, they were in the exact same spot as you, as they originally tried TVs, and they had to move towards the inventory because they were having that problem. If you do choose to pivot and go towards more of a media buying aspect for like digital online, there are very simple DSPs that you can load into, such as Choosel or StackAdapt, that will allow you to serve digital online, do very similar things to what you're trying to do here. It's just not going to be in the digital billboard situation. So if there is a pivot, maybe that will help you.
Needed. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Hi. So I was kind of piggybacking off, I don't know your name and I'm sorry, the gentleman over here saying, like, for example, that nail salon, right? So you work with that provider, that person that you've already done business with or are doing business with, and you go in there and say, hey, how about having a networking event here? It not only brings in for you, but also brings in for them. So when like you have a ladies' night, every woman likes to be pampered. You don't know how many of these women are business owners, or if you target business owners that are female within the community, you bring them into that business. That business goes ahead and says, well, oh, look at a new nail spa. It says, whoa, how's your business doing? Because I'm using XYZ service. So, oh, it's doing this great. Well, let me take a look at it. You may not get the full 20, you might get 2, you might get 3, but it's, like the Mexican restaurant. You go in there, hey, can you sponsor me for 2 hours? And just go in and say, I want you to just talk about your business, tell them how it's worked for you, offer refreshments, offer appetizers, whatever the case might be. People like anything that's free.
Yeah.
So you bring them in that way. Hey, free free margarita. All right, everybody goes in and has chips and margaritas. Everybody listens to your business. What you have going, what you're presenting, and at the same time, it brings business in for that Mexican restaurant. And they get to advocate for you. They get to advocate for themselves. And it kind of starts making that chain wherein like everybody's benefiting from the services you're providing and from what they're offering to the community.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Like Brady, I am with actually Highlight, and we decided to put the TV in our reception area. We are a startup company, brand new, and our target audience are parents with kids, initially, eventually entrepreneurs, and so on and so on. The reason why, and this may help you create that story, I think you were talking about it, right? The reason why this absolutely made sense for us, we were looking for innovative ways to get our name and our mission and product in front of as many eyeballs as possible. And the restaurants where there's a wait time, right? The stores that you already have, when we looked at the customer list, we're like, yeah, there's definitely the traffic was key for us because we knew that there's going to be a high volume of people with a high potential to see our brand name and the video clips that we've created with our story. So that is how we looked at it. For me, it was really understanding how our brand, not necessarily what's inside our academy, but how our product will be visible inside your other partners, right, where you have those TVs. So that was really important to me. So maybe create more marketing and more stories around that, along with some of the numbers that Jim was talking about, the national numbers. And there's a beautiful strategy right there initially, right? Hone in and target on just that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Are you able to collect and then provide to potential customers the demographic data for each of these locations? For example, like I know that some nail salons are going to be kind of entry level, there's some that are very high end. My customers might be at one place, not the other. So if I have the demographic information and I can kind of pick from those locations, you know, it's like your salon down the street is very different from like Hammer and Nails, which is about men's nails, right?
Yeah, not at this time, but I think that's a good idea. I think that's a next level, you know, ability to provide data. We are in Florida, and you know there are a lot of tourists, so I think some of that data could be skewed a little bit. But I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Hi, Omar Saleh with Launch AI. Why don't I just ask you, in your presentation on the screens, is there audio or strictly video?
It's strictly video.
And
yeah.
is it just slides essentially of the customers or anything else in between?
There is what we call filler content. So yeah, we do try to break up the ads with the weather. We do have trivia questions. We have brain teasers. You know, inspirational messaging in between, so that it does break up the monotony of just ad after ad after ad.
My thinking was if you may find some partners that have not just commercial partners, but maybe nonprofit kinds of partners who have a lot of traffic coming in.
Yeah.
You give them content specific to them, they may feel inclined. And I like the idea also maybe of even sharing some revenue or something, so we'll make it appealing to one of these nonprofits. So wow, this is great. We put this here. We have a high traffic area, people coming in on for whatever reasons.
Yeah, I have talked to a couple of nonprofits. A lot of the nonprofits are very hesitant to advertise other businesses in their own. I found that for a couple of different locations. They just don't want to be known as an advertiser, even though I tell them we're doing more than just advertising. I advertise the Chamber of Commerce on my screens. I advertise any events. You know, people give me flyers. I offer to advertise for free any community events, because part of the purpose behind my network is creating community togetherness, right? It's bringing the community together. So if I can advertise Sips and Salsa and someone sees that and they didn't know about it, now you're bringing people out to the community to get to know one another. So there is for some businesses, there's a hesitation that they are known for being an advertiser, even though I don't just do the advertising. I try to.
Sees the same thing from all the different screens, or can you?
Not necessarily, because it depends on the host locations. I advertise them on 5 for free. If they want to do more than 5, then you know we talk about a good price. And then the purchase advertisers also depends on how many screens they want to, or how many locations they want to advertise on, and whether they want to concentrate that to a certain type of business or a certain radius. So no, not every single location is cookie cutter showing the same thing, except for the filler content. The filler content is the same. Yeah.
Marcia Carter from Carbon Connection. Just quick so that I really understand. You're asking companies to put your screens in their organization for free.
Yes.
Right. So what Lanka was saying really makes sense to me. If you have customers who are sitting there doing nothing on their phones for 10 minutes while they're waiting for their service, whether it be nails or whether it's waiting to see the banker or whatever it is, it makes sense that you're putting something into their organization for free that they can then advertise somewhere else, and maybe selling it to that company as they're helping the community, because you're only advertising community businesses. So I would say anyone in here who has a brick and mortar space that they have customers sitting there doing nothing for 10 minutes, this would be an ideal way for them to advertise too and build their business.
Yeah, I do try to emphasize the community networking aspect of it, and the community relation piece. Some people are very open to it. I mean, some people have told me, no brainer, how do I sign up?
It is
And
no brainer to me. If I had
and others have taken a lot of convincing, and others won't even want to hear it. They're just very like, nope, I don't want advertisers, and that's it, right? And I understand. I mean, this isn't going to be a fit for everybody. I do want the right locations. I do want the right business partners at the end of the day, right? So if it works out, it's meant to be. But yeah, I do try to sell it as a community, aspect. But
Skylar was something roofing. I think one thing that would really help with like the ROI correspondence with the business would be that for each placement of one of your televisions, only having one per that industry, almost similar to like the BNI structure, where we have one roofer, we have one contractor. I think that makes it a larger sell factor comparative to if I would go and go see that screen and there's 4 other roofers or 4 other restaurants that do the same thing. I think that would lose a lot of traction, whereas if you kind of make it site specific per industry, I think that would help out a lot as well.
Yeah, the only challenge with that is it really limits the growth of my network, right? Because if I want to be able to provide an opportunity to have 20, 30, 40 screens in a 3 to 5 mile radius so that people can pick and choose how they want to, it makes it really challenging to find which is the best roofing place, right? Which is the best nail salon, and talk that individual into letting me be the one in there. I do limit the number. Like right now, I only have one of each of the non-restaurant places. But as I grow my network, I do need to think about. I do keep in mind though, like the distance. So I wouldn't have 2 barbershops within, a couple miles of each other, a mile of each other. I do consider the location. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, no. Yes. Yeah. One of the things I promise the host venue partners is they will not advertise a competitor. I do make sure that they are not advertising a competitor. So even with restaurants, I'll ask the restaurant owner, listen, I have these restaurants. I won't advertise any of them if you don't want me to. And I've had other restaurant owners say, no, I don't care. They don't sell the same type of food I do, right? But sometimes a restaurant owner is like, no, we're all competing for people to eat at my place. I don't care what kind of food it is. But I do always ask that question. But I do promise that they will not get any inappropriate content and that they will not get any competitors being advertised in their location. Yeah.
Hey, Monica. I just have something to add on to the QR idea. So just as a consumer of digital billboards, you don't really make a decision at that time. So sometimes it's like, oh, that looks good, and then it switches to the next thing, and you don't have time. So what I would suggest is have one QR code to say scan for all businesses, right? And then have it on your website and have like a rolodex on your website. So they have that itinerary of, oh, this is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So that could be something, and make sure the QR code rotates on the screen so there's no burn-in.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Mom. So I guess a quick question. So when you put up the different partners you already have, I just saw so many other opportunities there, like additional revenue opportunities. And I'm not sure if you thought about that, but I was alluding to your offering.
Additional revenue opportunities,
like,
you
for
said?
example, for one of the restaurants or whatever it may be, like I'm looking for people that are connected people in the hospitality industry. Or it could be not only are you on the advertising to Taco and Orteno, what other offerings can you give them now that you already have them on board? And also, when somebody sees the ad, and they click on it or scan a QR code, does it bring them to a workflow or a funnel? Or how does it kind of grow from there?
For the actual advertisers or the advertisements that are on the screen?
The advertisers are on the screen.
Yeah, I give businesses the option to add a QR code for people to scan that takes them directly to their website. We also put their social media icons on there if they have their social media. So when I create the ads, I work with the business owners one-on-one to figure out what they want. What is it exactly what message is exactly that you want to portray to the community when they're looking at this, and how do you want them to get a hold of you? We always advertise their phone number. We always advertise their address if they have a brick and mortar, but we do give them the option. Some businesses don't have a website, so they can't even put a QR code there too. But we work with them to create an ad that is going to be the most beneficial for their business. Not for mine, if that makes sense.
And we have time for one more question.
Yep.
Angie.
Hi, Monica.
Hi.
Good presentation.
Thank
so, have you connected with 55 and above communities? They have clubhouse.
Yeah.
They always have bingo. They do cards, and they're always looking to do something, right? So maybe to
Yeah. No, but I would love anyone that knows how I can connect with them. Yeah. Communities are really tough because you always have to go through the HOA. And you got to think about, I'm trying to grow my network quickly, right? To be able to grow my business. And I can't spend a ton of time chasing after someone. I usually give a business about 2 to 3 tries. And if they ignore me, I move on, right? I mean, there's over 2,000 businesses in the city of Clermont, and I'm looking for 50 of them to let me put a screen up. So I don't spend a lot of time. There are some phenomenal locations like that. I mean, any community really, but it's really hard to find the decision maker. A lot of times I get jumped around to different people. Some people say they'll pass on the message and they don't, and I'm just like, I can't spend 5, 10, 15 hours on one business a week where I've got to you know what I mean?
So I have some friends who live in those
yeah.
55 and above communities.
Perfect.
So maybe you can
yeah, I'm always looking for connections,
Great.
introductions.
Hey, Monica, behind you, there are 2 big screens. Quickly run through how you can make these screens your screens.
Oh, well.
And you're selling it to me.
If you are the owner,
I am
right?
the owner.
And you can make the decision today.
I make the decisions for everything.
So I am offering you an opportunity to be able to grow your business, and partnering with me to bring the community together.
So I already have the 2 screens. We don't have to put new screens up. So what do you need from me, money-wise?
So nothing.
Nothing.
No, you just give me the okay, and we work on creating your ads for your business to be able to advertise. Nope.
Nope.
And you know what's even better is I will update them for you every quarter. Every quarter, when you want to change something, we'll update them. And you get to keep them. So if you want to put them on your social media, if you want to put them on your website, they're yours to keep. We do not have any rights to what we create.
Monica, everyone.
Monica, thank you guys.
Thank you, Monica.
This has been great.
Pushing you there.
This has been great.
Well
yeah.
done. Well
Man,
done.
talk about being put on the spot. Like I wasn't for the last 30 minutes.
You handled it well. Here's
Thank
Monica's
you.
contact information. Please take a picture of that, store it how you need to. If you're driving and you think of something else that you would like to tell her, I'm sure
Yes,
she will be
please.
open to this feedback throughout the coming weeks as it comes to you. So, final question for you. If there's one action item for all of us sitting in this room, what can we as a community do to help you right now?
Okay. Can I give you 2?
Sure, absolutely.
Well, obviously the first one I already mentioned, any connections, right? Anyone that knows a business that would benefit from this, you know the business owner, you can make a connection, an introduction. I would really greatly appreciate that. But the second thing is follow me on social media and share, right? Whatever posts I have about, I do a lot of posting on social media showcasing the benefits that you get from joining the network. If you want to share that and maybe your network sees it and somebody on your network thinks that it would benefit them, obviously those things are always very helpful. So thank you.
Perfect.
But thank you guys for your feedback. It was amazing. I really had a great time this morning. Both Facebook and Instagram.
And what is your moniker? What is
It's Digital Universe Clermont on Instagram and Digital Universe on Facebook.